JSB Talks Digital.
Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, digital transformation champions, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke, and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Spotify. I promise you the 20 minutes you invest each week with me for free will take your digital and social media knowledge to new levels. In this episode, number 86, I discuss subscription-based business models. Coming up in today's show, in social media news, GIFs in LinkedIn messaging, Facebook comments, and name tags on Instagram. I interview Matt Eldridge of Melt Design because he mentioned his pooches in an email. In shoutouts, 3 ways I'm building subscriptions into my business model. Ask JSB, in JSB's column, why I decided to go down the subscription road. And find out what social video tool saved my working week.
Social media news.
Do you think that GIFs in LinkedIn messaging is a good idea? I often think GIFs on LinkedIn generally are a bit dodgy because you are engaging with the professional connections in your life and not your friends. GIF platform Tenor has announced that it will be powering GIF searches within LinkedIn messaging as reported by TechCrunch. Google recently acquired Tenor to help the company bring up GIFs inside Google Images and other services like Gboard more easily. As part of the new integration, LinkedIn members will be able to search for GIFs within LinkedIn messaging, as well as access trending GIFs and, apparently in the near future, have a custom stream that shows what's being used most often within LinkedIn. The update is now available for 50% of LinkedIn users and will be rolling out to everyone else in the near future. Have you noticed the new option on Facebook comments? You can now choose to have friends only see your comments on a thread. With continued emphasis being put on privacy, the feature update appeared on my newsfeed last week. I like it. I think it gives users more control, and that can only be welcomed. I'd love to know what you think. Drop me a comment on the Digital Training Institute Facebook page. Snapchat has snap codes, Facebook has messenger codes, and now Instagram is launching its own QR code. Name tags, which are scannable QR codes, will make it easier for Instagrammers to promote their account across multiple channels, both offline and online. Instagram confirmed it's working on deploying this feature in the near future, which is already available to a small number of beta users. Twitter user Gennady Ukrain shared screenshots and more information on how the new Instagram name tags work, and I've included his updates on the blog post associated with the podcast over at digitaltraining.ie.
Interview.
In this episode, I interview Matt Eldridge, founder of Melt Design in the UK. Matt runs an award-winning creative agency that helps ambitious businesses and entrepreneurs put the right website, business systems, design and marketing in place in order to deliver excellent results and ongoing success. I began working with Matt and his team last month to help me scale up my online business. In this interview, we discuss building a subscription-based business, so hopefully you might discover if it's a model that will work for you.
JSB Talks Digital.
In today's JSB Talks Digital, I'm joined by Matthew Eldridge, who is the owner of Melt Design. Matthew, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Joanne. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to join you.
So we know each other, of course, through Chris Ducker's mastermind, but you're also doing some work with Digital Training Institute and helping me with technology and scalability. But today we're going to talk about subscription-based businesses because it caught my eye. You sent out an email over Easter and you were talking about dog food. So perhaps share with my listeners why it drew my attention. What was that email all about?
Yeah, so just sat at home on the sofa with the dogs, watching TV, kind of contemplating, oh God, I've got to do dinner for me and the dogs, kind of trying to build up the energy. So when I started doing the dinner, it just dawned on me because we get our food come through a service called HelloFresh, which delivers food. You just basically put it in a pan, cook it, and then it's done. And then the dog food we get from tails.com, which is like a subscription base for food. And everything I was doing at that moment was subscription based. And it just dawned on me, like, this is just very commonplace nowadays. And it's something I've worked hard to put into my business as well in a subconscious way. And I just think it can work for so many businesses. So I just kind of sat down with my laptop and just wrote the email and just sent it out a couple of days later. So I had quite a good response to the email. So.
And why do you think then, Matt, that subscription-based businesses work? Is there some change in our own psychology or consumer behavior that is making them a digital age success?
Yeah, I think people are just used to having stuff when they want it on demand now. So obviously with Netflix, it's unlimited as well. And I think it solves that problem of having to discuss about, oh, I'm getting this for this. So it just solves that problem very quickly. Obviously, you know what you're getting when you sign up for these things, and each subscription is different in a way. But you know what you're getting each month. It's predictable for the customer. It's predictable for you as a business because you know that if you've got X amount of clients, you're going to earn X amount of money this month. So you can look at the money and you've got that peace of mind that money's coming in. So that's a really nice thing as a business owner to have. And also, it's the scalability of it. So you can take this as far as you want to go. If the niche and the market that you've got your subscription-based model is in, it can go bananas. So obviously, if you've got a smaller niche, like for example with dog food, if you did a dog food niche for just French bulldogs, which we've got, it's going to be harder to get the scale you would with something where you cover all dogs. But there's a niche for every kind of subscription. And another factor is it's a lot more attractive to a potential investor or someone that wanted to buy the business. So if you were looking to sell the business in 5 years, 2 years, it's going to be a lot more of an attractive proposal to sell than having a one and done kind of service where you're constantly having to make sales to bring the business in.
So if somebody is thinking about building a subscription-based business, like where do you start? How do you build that type of business?
I think the key is to look inside your business and see, are there things that can support your current kind of revenue streams? That's the first thing to look at. And also, obviously, you've got to factor in the technology that you need to kind of grow this thing. But do you have something that people are willing to pay for that is of what they want, but it's of value? So it's relevant to what they're looking for. It solves their problem, and it's a good enough value that they think, okay, I'll buy this. So a perfect example, we've got a client that does sport training for kids, and he was like, how am I going to work this in? I said, just sell it as like a £20 a month. They can come to unlimited classes. And he just thought, oh, it's going to kill my profits. But what he found was when he did it, he was half people weren't turning up. So he was still getting the money, but he didn't have to keep trying to market to sell each course, to sell each class. So we had that predictability into the business. So it's just a really nice thing to do.
And you're so right. I mean, continuously marketing and selling, trying to find new customers, trying to upsell to existing customers. It's a constant cycle, and for entrepreneurs who are, time poor and sometimes money poor, it sometimes can be really soul destroying.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard grind, and also from the user point of view, it's hassle free because the parents or the person who's got that subscription, you're busy as well, so you don't want to have to think about coming back to buy your food. Like I hate going shopping, hate it. can't stand it. So if I can take that pain away from myself with something that gets delivered to my door, happy days. But by putting that kind of power back into the user's hands, you're just making their lives a lot easier as well. So
yeah, and we know from the statistics that are available that the current consumer is demanding and they want things on demand. So you're right, we're giving our consumer and our customers that power.
Yeah, it's a win-win in many ways, really. The only thing I would say, it can be hard to get going, and some of the technology involved, it's not as complicated as it was 5 years ago, but you still need a basic grasp and you need some tools to get this kind of set up, really. So
let's talk about the technology and the automation, because they are key factors to deliver your recurring promise. What's involved, and again, where do you start? Because it's a big question for people. It's probably one of the biggest off-putting factors for people to build this type of business.
Yeah, sure. So if we break it down, you've got to kind of walk through these steps. So you've got the initial sale, what's going to be involved, what payment system's taking that payment, does it support subscription-based payments, how's the cancellations going to be handled, what about then you kind of getting the customers into CRMs and breaking them down into the right product range they've brought onto fulfillment. So online, you're going to make sure that they get the password to kind of get into the system. If it's an offline product, you want to kind of make sure you've got the fulfillment house in place. What happens if you run out of products? How are you going to deal with that? And then the onboarding. So a lot of these businesses will sell to you and then you don't hear off them, where the ones that make the impression are the ones that keep in touch, send you nice little gifts. And then the customer service side of things as well. So how are you going to handle complaints? How are you going to handle any kind of issues, like I said, out of stock, and training the staff and having the process. So I think at this point, it's worth getting a big piece of paper down and drawing out what 100% looks like for a user from start to finish. And then you can start to slot in your little wows and how you kind of give that customer that awesome experience, essentially.
So what's the key criteria to engage your perfect customer who's willing to spend with you month after month?
I think it comes back to what I said earlier about the key of the relevance and the value. So once you know your ideal customer for this service and you know their pain points, like I don't like going shopping, don't have the time, those kind of factors. For us, when we signed up for the dog food, it was because they had a certain dog food that met our dog's kind of allergy needs. So we'd kind of searched on that, and the content was on the site that talked about that. So it's all about putting the content relevant to what you offer. And then obviously you've got your normal channels like your pay-per-click and Facebook ads and email and all that kind of stuff that can help you to support this marketing. But the key thing is relevance, value, and is there a market for it, essentially? And I'd say 95% of the time, there's always going to be a market. It's just whether it's big enough to support your goals, essentially.
Is there a danger then, if you're successful in your subscription-based business, that you have your optimum number of customers with your monthly recurring income, that you get complacent and you think, well, they're happy, take my eye off the ball? Or is it a case that you should always be innovating and improving? Because when we think about subscription-based businesses, we think, it's taking the hassle out of constantly marketing and selling. But I guess you've always got to be iterating then if you go for this model to keep them interested.
Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot of businesses will kind of take your money up front and then just kind of leave you be. And that's when you find the kind of churn rate or the kind of cancellation rate is increased. Whereas the kind of subscription models where they engage with you, send you little gifts. Like my partner, she gets her makeup every month, comes through this little box and it's got little samples and she loves it. But they sent her a 6-month gift and it was a free mascara and she's like bought in for life now, I reckon. She ain't cancelling that for a long time. So it's those little touch points. It depends on how ambitious you want to be with it, how important money and growth and everything is to you. Do you want a lifestyle business or do you want the next Netflix? It's up to you really what you want from it. But the beauty of it is once you've got it set up and working to a point, you can then reinvest the time back into putting these small touches in, the constant marketing. And as you scale, you can grow the team to support your needs. Marketing, customer service, fulfillment, little wows, it all works as you grow. It's up to you really how you do it. I think being proactive and constantly communicating and updates on the website, social media, all that kind of stuff, that's only going to help you keep and build your audience and keep people loyal to your business.
So let's talk about digital marketing and social media subscription-based businesses, as that's what my core group of listeners will be interested in. Are we well placed for this model? Do we have something to build because we're selling a service?
Yeah, so there's lots of avenues with digital marketing that you can go down. So one of the key ones, or the main ones that's quite big at the minute, is the old membership sites. You've got membership sites, you've got training courses. They're massive now. It's one of the biggest growing sectors in the world, I think, online training. So it's just a case of what you've got, what you offer, how can you kind of release that? Do you want to sell it? And also it's important to remember it doesn't have to be a monthly kind of subscription. It can be an annual subscription. So it could be you sign up for a course and then on the next year you get another course. And then you've got to do the work in between to make sure they want to sign up for the second year. So it doesn't have to be a monthly thing. But also you've got things, if you are a digital company, you might have a tool that you can sell on a monthly subscription that's valuable. You might have, again, plugins that you sell and rate out. And then you might have a service. So for ourselves, we have everything we do, you can buy on a monthly basis. You can either buy it one-off or you can buy it on a monthly basis. So yeah, a lot of people doubted that I could do it with our business. And I did myself, if I'm honest, but I just put it out there that, do you want to buy this on a monthly basis to help it make it more affordable? And it worked. It just, people started buying it and signing up and it just worked. So I think it's one of the key sectors that can monetize this kind of model, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I guess I'm a case in point. You know, I needed a done-for-you service in terms of scalability and that edge in technology that I didn't really have within my company. And, you know, I came across your success plan and, you know, you sold me what I needed. And that was the value for me. So it is very interesting that we in the digital marketing space can turn our expertise and our hands to a subscription-based model. So finally, Matt, tell us a little bit more about Melt Design.
Yeah, so we're an award-winning creative agency based in Warwick in the UK. So basically our kind of key ethos is that good websites are never finished. So when you've got your website, a lot of people just kind of leave it and it never does anything for the business. So a website is a business tool that you need to use to kind of support your marketing, support your sales, support your systems. So you can kind of use it in a lot of ways. And obviously you're going to want to keep launching marketing campaigns, different offers. Like you've got your summit that you're launching very soon. So that needs to be supported by the website. And then the systems on the back end, a lot of people just get the website up and then just forget about it. And that's when they don't see the success they want. So I know one of the key factors for us as well was we didn't want to keep having the conversation about this is going to be £200, this is going to be £500. So we just opened up the success plan and just said, look, it's unlimited. Get what you want, what you need. We'll support you and help you grow. And it's just worked. People see the value in that they don't want to keep having those conversations, and you just get the support you need as and when you need, really.
Okay, Matt Eldridge from Melt Design, thank you so much for joining me on JSB Talks Digital. But I think before I finish, you're going to have to send me a picture of your dogs, because dogs sometimes break the internet. I've spoken a lot about your dogs today, so make sure that you send me some photos of yourself and the dogs so I can share it on the blog post.
No problem. No, definitely will. But Puppet loves being in the limelight, so.
Brilliant. Thanks, Matt.
Cool. Thanks, Joanne.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shoutouts to brands, organisations or individuals whose work online is remarkable and worth talking about. In this episode, I share 3 ways I'm building subscriptions into my business model.
1.
I've designed 3 JSB signature online courses to introduce my ideal customers to my full offering. They will sit midway into the funnel and respond to the pain points of my customers. The online courses are a digital communications roadmap, trust marketing, a blueprint for government, and digital content creation formula. Each of these topics are niche and specific to my audience, which is public sector marketing and communications professionals. They're practical courses with formulas which they can implement into their organisations.
2.
I've also built a digital academy for public sector marketing pros. I'm often hired as a consultant to work on a specific project. However, sometimes it's just not possible for agencies to hire me on an ongoing basis. So, my digital academy presents a unique opportunity for individuals to work with me directly for a whole 12 months, with high-level topics crucial to public sector organisations being covered in depth. My academy members will get one module per month, useful resources including workbooks, handbooks and tutorial videos, access to a members area to network and learn from their peers. All courses are CPD certified, so there is professional recognition of learning, which will help promotion and career development. There will also be other benefits such as exclusive interviews with experts, live Q&A with me, and ongoing updates on changes in the world of social media.
3.
I'm also hosting my first mastermind this year. However, I've invested significantly myself in being a member of masterminds. My Public Sector Marketing Pros Mastermind is aimed at senior managers and decision makers leading out on digital transformation. These applicants will manage a team, they'll be responsible for digital transformation in some way in their organisation, and they will be eager to build the profile of their organisation and also themselves to build influence at home and abroad. The 12-month mastermind is limited to 10 people and candidates will be selected on an application basis. So there you have it, 3 ways that I'm employing a subscription-based model into my business.
Ask JSB.
In this week's Ask JSB, my question comes from Michelle Baxter, who has her own online business aimed at the dental industry. Michelle posed this question on my Facebook profile this week, and she asks, JSB, what is your onboarding process for new members in your academy? Well, Michelle, I'm just at the beginning of the process, so let me share it with you. Once registered, members receive a welcome email with instructions on how to log into the members area. They are then directed to the new members landing page, and I will be there, on a video of course, to welcome them and show them the ropes. There will be a short PDF download to explain the mechanics of the academy and the expectations from a learning perspective. It's important that we remind our clients that their learning is their responsibility. We will also invite them into our members forum and get them to introduce themselves. There's also an option of a 15-minute call with me to ask any particular questions. Michelle, this is a relatively new onboarding process for me, so I will test and iterate it and will definitely share what worked and what didn't work in time. So let's keep in touch. Don't forget, if you have a burning social media or digital marketing question, simply click on digitaltraininginstitute.ie/askjsb and leave me a voicemail. You can also send me your question to any of our social networks.
JSB's column.
In today's JSB's column, I share why I decided to go down the subscription road and how far down that road I am. So I've been in business and I've been trading time for money for a whole 10 years, a full decade. That's not a sustainable approach in my view. I really want to leverage the capabilities that technology has provided entrepreneurs, and me more than many people understand the opportunities that exist. I know I can work smarter by thinking smarter in business, and the online education business is booming, proving that people are willing to learn online. I finally settled on my online niche, public sector marketing professionals, and they need my help to support them in the digital age as they transition and upskill. I know I have what it takes to build an online business. I just need to get out of my own way. I'm constantly evolving my skills and my knowledge, and for me, this feels like the natural next step. I really want to be able to work with more people by scaling JSB, and this is the perfect solution. I also want to be able to speak on more stages, in more countries, so having an online business supports my own personal and business ambitions. And finally, I want to be able to work a 4-day week at some stage, and having an online business will help me to achieve this personal goal. And I'll also let you know that it's also Bobby's goal for me that I work a 4-day week. If you want help developing your subscription-based business, then get in touch. Simply email joanne@digitaltraining.ie.
Social media tool of the week.
The social media tool that saved my working week this week is Filmora Go. It's a video editing tool which you can use on the go, on mobile or on desktop. It's super easy to use and very user-friendly and intuitive. I use it both on mobile and on desktop. The main features include importing photo and video clips from your camera roll, previewing clips in real time. It supports imports from social networking sites such as Facebook and Instagram. It's got fantastic templates and effects, and you can choose from stylish themes and their library of royalty-free music. It also has fit-for-purpose ratios for the social networks. So, if you're interested, find out more at filmora.wondershare.com, or you can download it for iOS or Android on the App Store or Google Play. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 96 of JSB Talks Digital. As always, I have everything discussed on today's show on my award-winning blog at digitaltraining.ie. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. You'll find JSB Talks Digital on iTunes, Spotify, Libsyn, Stitcher or SoundCloud. If you're a marketing professional working in the public sector and want to find out more about public sector marketing pros, go to publicsectormarketingpros.com. Please keep in touch between this episode and number 97. You can send me a tweet to a Tweets by JSB, post a comment on our Facebook page. You can always find me on Snapchat when I'm out and about at JSB Snaps, and you'll find me on Instagram as JSB Grams. I'm Joanne Sweeney Burke. This is JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.